Welcome back to Chaos Corner. It's your old buddy, the Guardian of Chaos, Big Daddy, and I tell it like it is. I'll say that to say this, here live to tape for Chaos Corner for show episode number 74. We have a full studio. It's a beautiful day. We have a lot going on. You can see that we're amped up. Let me lower the distraction, and thanks for being here. It's been a little while. We are on episode, as I said, 74. We have a lot of happenings. We're going to go through today, Monday, October 4th, in pro wrestling history and sports history. So sit back, relax, again, 25 feet below the surface of the earth. It's good to be back. It's good to see everyone. Don't forget to hit that like button, turn on the bell, subscribe, follow me on all social media platforms, and you know that's my buddy, Jay Brony, over on Facebook, and of course, Prodigio Fidelis El Guardian, yours truly, in character on Facebook, and of course, at Twitter, at Big Daddy GOC, and if you hit the profile link on Twitter, you will be bounced over to here on the YouTube channel, Guardian of Chaos. Follow me on Instagram at the Guardian of Chaos, and of course, I'm also over on Gab and Rumble. You're not going to want to miss it. What I have here today, fans, again, we're live to tape. This will be going up on all those social media platforms, including where we're growing by leaps and bounds. I can't believe I've discovered it. The Gram, as they call it. It's unbelievable what goes over on at the Gram. Out of all the social media platforms, and maybe I'll throw a poll out there, seeing that I'm on the ones that aren't as popular, although they should be, which is Gab and Rumble. What do you fans think about the social media platforms going on, battles, if you will, between Facebook and Twitter and, as I said, Instagram, and of course here on YouTube? There's a lot of different things going on. There's a lot of information going on out there. There's a lot of misinformation going on out there. But what we're going to bring to you here on episode 74, and I'm glad that you're here because this is going to be history related, and I'll lay it out in format. We'll start off with pro wrestling. There's a lot of things going on. Of course, you have the continuing draft from SmackDown to Monday Night Raw tonight on what's going on between the two brands, and I'm not sure if some of the talent from NXT will be all involved, because you know that NXT has changed over its format, and a couple of the people over there are no longer, let's just say, persona non grata. Again, we have AEW Dynamite, Rampage, Dark, all those platforms. Of course, MLW is on the rise. NWA Power has its fan base. Impact, if they can get a bigger platform, has an incredible roster. Let's just look at the different landscape that we have, and then, throw in always as the solid from across the seas over there in the Orient, and that would be New Japan. There's a lot of stuff going out there, and if you talk about the indies, I can go on forever about the independent organizations that are out there around this country, and especially in this tri-state Northeast corridor, New England area, where it's fast-paced in life and fast-paced in sports, and of course, competitive and fast-paced, history-based, as this program will be in pro wrestling. So I want you to enjoy this. This was spur of the moment to throw it out there. Again, if you follow me here on this YouTube channel, you will see, I think I'm coming up to close to 1,000 videos in length, from YouTube shorts of 25 to 50 seconds, to full out interviews and matches anywhere from 30 minutes to 20 minutes, and even podcasts and shows and conversations like this that anywhere from an hour to 2 hours. So again, sit back and enjoy this episode. We're live to tape. We're going to get it up there. We don't want to keep it too long, because then it takes forever to upload. So leave a comment. Let's see what you got going out there, fans. For the GOC, that's right, it's me. So this date today in pro wrestling history, and then we'll get out to some sports history dates. We're going to switch it up here. We'll even come back, hopefully, with some music and different things on the entertainment level. But you know what the wheelhouse is here on Chaos Corner. Here we go. Sit back and let's go into the DeLorean, if you will, here on Chaos Corner. 1972. Antonio Inoki defeats Karl Gotch for the New Japan Real World Heavyweight title in Tokyo, Japan. 1975, Tosh Togo defeats Jose Miguel Perez and Bayamon, Puerto Rico to win the WWC Puerto Rican Heavyweight title. The year 1979, Tatsumi Fujinami ends Ryomo Go's 2-day reign as Worldwide Wrestling Federation Junior Heavyweight title in Tokyo, Japan. Let's bounce up to the year 1981. The NWA held a tournament to determine the new U.S. champion. Wahoo McDaniel had to vacate the title after an injury caused by Abdullah the Butcher. Now, this was held in Charlotte, North Carolina. As I said, the year was 1981. Who ended up being the champion after Wahoo? Do your research. You can Google it. You can go to PWI. You can go to the CAC, Cauliflower Alley Club. All the research and due diligence is out there if you do it. And that's what it's all about. Am I right? I think that I am. As I see people moving around in the background back there, it's okay. Finger sandwiches are on the left. Water's on the right. Your beverage of choice. Grab me a cup of Java while you're over there, will you please? Yes, I appreciate that. Here we go, 1981. We get back to the NWA to held a tournament to determine the U.S. champion. The winner, Sergeant Slaughter, defeats Ricky Steamboat after Wahoo vacated the title due to Abdullah the Butcher. Let's fast forward to 1986. The World Wrestling Federation's Saturday night's main event, which aired on NBC. Now, we're always talking about ratings between AEW and everyone's hooked up on it. And I guess it's interesting and it's nice to see the numbers. And we know the incredible numbers that came out of the Monday Night Wars between WCW and the WWE back then. And I get it. And the numbers have changed and times have changed and the product has changed. I get it. I consider myself old school, but I appreciate the new school as well. There's no better time to be in this industry or business right now as a fan or as an insider or as somebody that's in competition in the talent themselves. I mean, there just is no better time. Well, unless you're one of the writers of certain companies. I don't want to get onto that. This is positivity. 1986, we're talking about ratings. Everyone going back and forth. The all-important 18 to 49 demographic. Wrestling's virtually on, if you're throwing pay-per-views, what are we on? A solid 5-6 nights a week? I mean, it really is unbelievable. Here it is. NBC 1986 Saturday night's main event. They earned a 9.4 rating. Let me say it again, a 9.4. The main event was Hulk Hogan and Paul Orndorff. Ricky Steamboat and Jake the Snake Roberts was on it. A Piper beat the Iron Sheik in less than a minute. And the British Bulldogs defeated Brutus Beefcake and Greg the Hammer Valentine. Do you see the numbers that were pulled in what they now call the golden era? Now, when I lived through it as a fan and as an insider in the 80s and then as a competitor and talent into the 90s, you lived through this. We thought the golden era was the 60s and the 70s especially. And now, and then you get into the 2000s, and now we're in the 21st century, and now here we are in 2021, looking back 25 years. People nowadays call the Attitude Era or the middle 90s or the Monday Night Wars the era. But back then, when we were doing this in the 90s, into the 2000s, 2010, so on and so forth, before we got into, now we're in 2021, the golden era was the 80s. That's when it all started, rock and wrestling. I mean, that was the golden era, and you see the ratings, a 9.4. I can't stress it enough because that's what we're always talking about. 1991. I hope you catch the correlation there, fans, because this is what you get here on Chaos Corner. 1991, Eddie Gilbert beats Buff Bagwell to win the Global Wrestling Federation title in Dallas, which was vacated by the Patriot, Del Wilkes. If you go back to the Global Federation days, there's a long story between Eddie Gilbert and Buff Bagwell. 1991, Global Wrestling Federation. Let's go to, we'll even flashback after flashing forward. Say that 3 times fast. I don't know if you can. 1983, El Canic defeats Dos Caras to retain the UWA heavyweight title in Mexico City in front of over 28,000 fans. Now, this is 1983. Talk about your golden era. Talk about worldwide. Talk about impact all over the place. Here on episode 74, we're on pro wrestling history. Today, October 4th, 1993, Buff Bagwell and Too Cold Scorpio defeat the Nasty Boys to win the WCW Tag Team titles in Columbus, Georgia. The year will stay in 1993. Tim Horner wins the Smoky Mountain Beat the Champ TV title. Now remember, the rules were after 5 title defenses, the successful title defenses, the title becomes vacant and you have to wrestle for it. How about that? Now, is that something for a concept in Smoky Mountain back in 93? And everyone talks about Cornette. As I sit here and I watch different things, and people are always talking about Jim Cornette and his podcast, and he's old school and he complains and he bitches and he moans. Well, that may be true, but you can't take away the guy's inventive ideas and what he's done. You got to respect Jim Cornette. Yeah, I know. Well, listen, that's my heritage. I'm Italian. I talk with my hands. What do you? No. Okay. You made your point. They made their point. Let's go back to also on that same card. First off, Smoky Mountain again. Just imagine the Beat the Champ TV title. That's a great idea. After 5 title defenses, the title becomes vacant. Also on that same card, Chris Candido defeated Bobby Blaze for the Smoky Mountain Wrestling United States Junior Heavyweight title, 1993. 2002, we go into a little entertainment, as it always intertwines, as it usually does, whether it be Dr. D, David Schultz, and John Stossel, or Hulk Hogan and Belzer, or the infamous Jerry King Lawler, David Letterman, and Andy Kaufman. Well, here's another one. David Arquette on David Letterman in 2002, talking about everything from his time in WCW to working with Jeff Jarrett and Tank Abbott and Diamond Dallas Page and even the movie Ready to Rumble. And then we know since then, fast forward here, we're 18 years later, David Arquette was still on the indies, just recently wrestled Jerry the King Lawler here in the tri-state area. Everyone gives Arquette a lot of bullshit, a lot of stuff. Give the man credit. He's even going to do some hardcore stuff. I don't know if he worked with Nick Gage or not. Just a lot of crazy stuff. But give Arquette credit for at least trying to be what he was supposed to be. It's not his fault. He jumped on it in WCW. They wrote the script. He became the champion. Yeah, okay. It wasn't for the business. I didn't like it. Ready to Rumble was a good movie, though. And Arquette has more than proven his ways since then. That's just my opinion. So, 2002, David Letterman. 2006, the WWE premieres John Cena and the movie The Marine. 2006. Doesn't that seem like a long time ago? 2008, Ken Shamrock is mentally disqualified. Maybe he should be mentally disqualified, but medically disqualified for his fight against Kimbo Slice in Elite XC. Now, if you remember, he was medically disqualified for whatever issues. Again, it should have been mentally disqualified too. No offense, Ken. Listen, you were in many fights. You took a lot of shots to the head. You remember what happened after Shamrock was disqualified. The silverback gorilla, Seth Petrozzoli, stepped in last minute and beat Kimbo Slice in 14 seconds. The street legend. Remember that? 2008. 2009. Hell in a Cell becomes the official pay-per-view for the first time from Newark, New Jersey. Yes, for everyone that's going to jump on me right now. The first official Hell in a Cell was 1997. But it didn't become an official like it is now yearly until 2009. On that night, it was John Cena and Randy Orton, and Orton won the title. 2009, Hell in a Cell, the very first one officially, Newark, New Jersey. 2010, of all things, and how media and TV and movies and all that we're talking about right now, because it is this day in pro wrestling history, sports history, if you will. On NBC, the spy comedy Chuck, Stone Cold Steve Austin and Stacy Keibler make an appearance. 2010. 2011, Jeff Hardy checks into jail in North Carolina for a 10-day sentence for his 2009 drug charges. Listen, I'm just reporting the good, the bad, and the ugly. This is what it is here. I don't like to be negative. Very, very interesting stuff there for this date in pro wrestling history, October 4th. Let's go on to this day in sports history. We'll throw it back and we'll flash it back. Fans, tell me what you like and what you don't like. I want to hear it. I want your feedback. 1906, the Chicago Cubs beat the Pirates 4-0 to end the Major League Baseball season with a record of 116-36 for a 763 winning percentage. Unmatched since, I believe. 1922, the first World Series broadcast over radio on WJZ and WGY between the New York Yankees and the New York Giants. By, of all people, not a broadcaster, a writer, Grantland Rice. 1936, a record crowd of 66,669. Say that 3 times fast. They pack Yankee Stadium to see Game 4 of the World Series between the Yankees and the Giants. The Yankees go on to win the series 4-2. It was unbelievable in the tri-state and especially the New York area. You had the Brooklyn Dodgers, the New York Giants, the New York Yankees. I mean, a little before my time, but if you do your history and research, really was an unbelievable time to be a sports fan in that area. Fast forward to the year 1955. The Brooklyn Dodgers win the first World Series in a Game 7 over the arch-rival Yankees, and the Dodgers had lost the previous 7 World Series. Boy, the Brooklyn Dodgers really had a tough time. You can see why they had such a big following, as did the New York Giants and obviously the New York Yankees. So that was the year 1955 for the Brooklyn Dodgers, winning the first World Series. 1958, just to throw it in there because it is October 4th, this day in history, the 12th NHL All-Star Game is played at the Montreal Forum. 1961, Whitey Ford records his 3rd straight World Series shutout in a 2-0 win over the Cincinnati Reds. 1980, Mike Schmidt hits a 2-run homer as the Phillies beat Montreal to win the National League East, seeing that we are now heading into October. We are in October for October baseball in the playoffs. Now, that was Schmidt's 48th home run of the season, breaking Eddie Matthews' third base home run record. Mike Schmidt, Hall of Famer. Unbelievable. You can't make it up. Today in sports history, pro wrestling history, episode 74. Let me double check. It's been a little while. Fans, you could see me on all different... yes, it is episode 74. You can see me on all different platforms. Before we talk about my own platform here on Chaos Corner, I am frequently on with the Professor Rick Del Santo on PWZ podcast. That's right, the PWZ. I was just on with on Stewie John Palmer, Stewie's podcast over in the UK. I've been on many shows, stirring the pot with the Kincaid Files and one Don Kincaid. There's a lot of different things. On also with one John J. Filippelli on The Curtain Call with John Filippelli and Kevin Sullivan. Go back, and of course the Mario and Chaos podcast on YouTube, on all social media platforms. Those are all in the archives of different things, the infamous Dino Costa show and stuff that you can find, all the YouTube videos, and even the unbelievable project of the Green Room that I was involved with for 6 months. A lot of different things. Let's get back onto, as we say, social media platforms, different things I want to throw out there for the fans to be aware of and where you could see the work and what I've been involved with. All you got to do is stay here on YouTube. Watch the posts. Way Back Wednesday, Throwback Thursday, Flashback Friday, Conversation Sunday, Snapshot Saturday, Photo of the Day. There's a lot of different things. Of course, Paradise Alley Pro Wrestling on Fight TV. We just came out of Rumble in Paradise. We just had unbelievable Diesel Mania 5. And coming up on October 16th is going to be the Elm City Brawl for Paradise Alley Pro Wrestling. That's right. Elm City Brawl of the Greater New Haven JCC. It'll be on Fight TV. Go to ParadiseAlleyProWrestling.com on all social media platforms, and you will find out, because that's what's happening right now. Owned and operated by 4 men that worked for Vincent Kennedy McMahon and WCW and Ted Turner. And that would be Pretty Paul Roma, Mario Mancini, Paul Perez, second-generation grappler, and, of course, Big Dave Paradise. You won't find anything like it. Let's get back onto this day, this sports and history, and this is what you get. It's ad-lib, it's organic. Yeah, I have notes, but I never stick to the script. Yeah, I have live crowds at times. I never skip. Yeah, the props go everywhere. But this is what you get. It's real, it's raw, it's unique, it's unscripted, it's unedited, it's live to tape. And it's barest bones, old school, pen to paper. Do you understand what I'm talking about? This day in history, this day in sports history. 1986, the Yankees' Dave Righetti saves both ends of the doubleheader at Fenway Park versus, obviously, the Red Sox for his record 46th save at the time. That's 1986. 1987 is the year. Scab Sunday, the very first in the NFL for the replacement players. We all remember that in 1987. And if you don't, and if you were just a gleam in your daddy's eyes, don't blame it on me. It's not my fault that I came from a great generation. It's a work, baby. I'm only kidding. Here we go, the year 1989. The Giants, San Francisco Giants of Will Clark, hits the first grand slam in the NLCS since 1977. In less than 4 innings, Will Clark goes 4 for 4, 2 home runs, 6 runs batted in, which is a National League Championship Series RBI record in less than 4 innings. 1989, look it up, do your research, fact check me if you want to. Go ahead. We're 20 minutes in here. Let's get ready to wrap it up. We want to keep this in under a half an hour. These shows are going to be a la, like, I don't know. I don't want to compare myself to, like I said, Jim Cornette or John Arezzi or Joe Pedicino or all those different great people who did shows in different formats. You know, Bill Apter, so on and so forth. Oh, I'm the guardian of chaos, Big Daddy, and I tell it like it is. And I'll say that to say this. 1991, the Edmonton Oilers trade Mark Messier, who, remember, Mark Messier was on all 5 cups, Stanley Cups for the Edmonton Oilers. They trade Messier to the New York Rangers. 2 seasons later, the Rangers win the cup. How great was that? 1991, you can't make it up, make it up. You talk about trades. This is one for the record books. Edmonton trading Messier to the Rangers. 2001. The Bruins retire Ray Bourque's number 77, the future Hall of Fame defenseman. Smart move by the Boston Bruins. And Ray Bourque, listen, I'm not a Bruins fan, but I'm a Ray Bourque fan. I'll tell you that much. I'll say that to say this. 2018, fast forward to almost present day. But boy, 2018 seems like 10 years ago, doesn't it? 2018. I don't like to say 2018. It's actually 2018. For everyone that says, oh, 2001, it's really 2001, 2002, 2018, 2021. You get it? Tomato, potato. This is what you get. We're in 2018. Then New England quarterback, who's now for Tampa Bay, and he was on last night. The best quarterback in the history of the NFL. Tom Brady becomes only the 3rd quarterback to record 500 touchdowns. Whew. Tom Brady. Listen, you see who my team is. The best team perhaps in the history of the NFL. Undefeated, so on and so forth. They're always popping the champagne, the corks every season. Let's hope it continues. But Tom Brady, my opinion, the GOAT. No 2 ways about it. Who was the pass to? Josh Gordon. A little trivia here on history. 2018. Fans, this is what we're doing here. This is what we're throwing out. This is episode number 74. Monday, October 4th. You see how 74 and 4 correlate? I'm glad that everybody popped in and stopped in. This is live to tape, although you get it in the same day. So we're going to keep this at 25 minutes and just throw it out there for some entertainment, ad-lib, momentum, notes that I had prepared. So follow me on all social media platforms. Email me at chaosbigdaddy2@yahoo.com. That's right, CAHAOS, Big Daddy, the number 2, at Yahoo. Let's talk, ask questions, send it in. Let's see what happens. Don't you dare miss it.